Warning, this is a relatively short video on Devil May Cry 5, but has spoilers for all of Devil May Cry 5, pretty much. I love the Devil May Cry series. I've played the Bastard Child, that is Ninja Theory's DMC Devil May Cry. So when Devil May Cry 5 was announced back in 2018, I, like most fans, was pretty hyped. Something seemed kinda off though. Who was this emo, hot topic looking dude? And why was he in my hack and slash game? Well, it turns out Capcom was pulling a Kingdom Hearts with the whole nobody and heartless thing, and V was Virgil's human side, while Urizen was his demon half. But was it always intended to be that way? Because while we have no official word, something in my gut, before the game even released, told me that V had more planned for him originally than just Virgil. I believe that his actual identity was meant to be Mundus from DMC 1. And he's in a weakened state after his loss from Dante, yada yada yada, and his betrayal would reflect that. I'll expand on that more at the end of the video, but before that, I'd like to go over a few other facets of V's character that could point to him having bigger plans than what we saw in the final release. V uses his familiars, Shadow, Griffin, and Nightmare, to defend himself. These were all demons used by Mundus in DMC 1, of course. Griffin claims that they are Virgil's discarded thoughts from when he was Nilo Angelo, but that doesn't make much sense to me, as Nilo Angelo never seemed to meet or interact with Mundus's other minions. And that's not the only DMC 1 tomfoolery going on in this game. The Proto-Angelos and Scudo-Angelo demons are a very clear reference to Nilo Angelo, and the Death Scissors also make a return. It's also noted that V's most powerful demon, Nightmare, was originally going to be Phantom from DMC 1, so there still would have been a DMC 1 connection regardless. V's skills in combat are based off of chess moves too, or tournament types, such as Double Check, Royal Fork, and Round Robin, just to name a few. These could have been alluding to V's scheming and strategic nature, which it still is, but it could have a more subtle meaning. Another small but noteworthy mention is V, and by association, Virgil's sudden taste for poetry kinda feels very forced and out of nowhere. Virgil has never seemed to care for poetry, let alone William Blake, and he has had multiple games worth of chances to show an interest in writing but never did. I feel like this may have been intended originally to expand on Mundus as a character. When V attacks Goliath, before he dies, he asks, "Why are you?" As if he's confused about Mundus' sudden appearance and betrayal. Not who, but why are you, which is very different. When V approaches the demon that is holding Trish, he immediately knows that she is there. Even Nero didn't know Lady was in Artemis until after he'd cut the demon open. V says, "I know what you are." Not who, but what. He then states, "Don't worry, I'll be gentle," almost sarcastically, as if he intends to kill her. Maybe at this point, Mundus knew his creation that betrayed him was held captive inside this demon, and that he had an opportunity to kill her. And he almost does, until Garion protects the demon instead. It goes without saying that this part covers V's theme. Each character's theme is a core aspect of their character, and to me, Crimson Cloud makes more sense as Mundus' theme than it does of human Virgil. We'll start with the most bare-bones point, that being Mundus used to appear before others in a crimson cloud of red lightning. If you have to ask, it's too late could foreshadow that if you're beginning to wonder if you can trust V, you've already lost. Brothers in the dark, fight for your life. Devils in the dark, fight for your life. I think this could have implied Mundus has infiltrated the humans and urges demons to hold out and survive while he undermines the enemy. And last but not least, evening the score would allude to his desire for revenge against Dante for his humiliating defeat in DMC 1. V may have originally been Mundus in a weaker state after his defeat from Dante, and as a last-ditch effort, he infiltrates Dante's group to help stop Urizen, the new king, so at the last moment he can absorb his power and regain his throne. He would see this opportunity when Urizen begins the process to create the demon tree fruit that Mundus himself once devoured when he originally ruled the underworld. He takes the form of a human and hires Dante to help him weaken Urizen before he delivers the finishing blow and absorbs his power. This would have given the player a feeling of, what have I done, as well as give V additional context of repeat playthroughs. His dialogue and interaction with other characters would carry a whole new meaning now. Virgil may have been implemented into the story later due to high demand of his character, which I think is a shame. Don't get me wrong, I do love Virgil and he's one of my favorite characters in all of media, but his presence in DMC 5 and the fact that the entire game basically revolves around him leaves a lot to be desired in the original antagonist department. It doesn't even make sense in the context of the current story that we're given that Dante gives V an opportunity to finish off and kill his own brother instead of doing it himself. Devil May Cry has never had a desire to flesh out its villains, and I think V is a wasted opportunity for something a little more creative. A chance to play the bad guy. That being said, this doesn't mean V is a bad character as he is now, because he's not, but he could have been more. He could have had depth beyond what was already shown, which isn't much. And as a writer, giving your audience characters that they spend years discussing, that's the only kind of gift worth giving. Thanks for watching.